Hello, I'm Joni Romea, and I'm answering what ideological positions divided the US and the Soviet Union in the wake of World War II. How and why did these divisions influence global politics? The US entered the war after the attack on Pearl Harbor due to pressure from the American public and moral obligations to engage in World War II. The allies in the war consisted of the United States, Great Britain, France, Australia, Canada, New Zealand, India, China, and the Soviet Union. When both the US and the Soviet Union needed assistance during the war, America needed help from the Soviet Union in defeating Japan, and the Soviet Union required help from America in preventing Nazis from obtaining the Soviet Union's territories. When the war finally ended in Europe, leaders met at the Yalta Conference where compromises had to be made. In order to receive help from the USSR, the other Allied countries had to agree with Stalin's terms. Stalin's terms essentially gave him more power, especially through the establishment of a communist government. When Roosevelt died during the Yalta Conference, Truman stepped into office. He disagreed with the negotiations made between Roosevelt and Stalin. This was because he opposed a communist regime and its form of economy. After World War II, powerful European countries were now in debt, so they were not as powerful as before. Consequently, America and the Soviet Union arose as the two superpowers in the world. However, they disagreed on several aspects of government. To answer the first question of this module, the ideological positions that divided the US and the USSR were their positions on communism. Another aspect that divided the countries was the need to compete in economic, technological, and military strength. A video included in the module, called The Red Scare, discusses how America became ruled by fear as a result of divisions between America and the Soviet Union. The Red Scare was when America feared the spread of communism within the country. One of the things that fueled the Red Scare was Senator McCarthy's speech that stated Soviet spies were everywhere. This led several people to imprisonment or even execution, even though several of them were innocent. It also led to blacklisting, which made several people lose their jobs and careers, particularly in Hollywood. The Cold War and divisions resulted in the establishment of several policies, such as the containment policy that attempted to prevent the spread of communism to other nearby countries. Divisions and disagreements also led to the spread of fear of communism. One example of this was the Long Telegram. The Long Telegram was a telegram sent from the American Embassy in Moscow, which stated that the Soviet Union wanted to destroy America. Another example of this fear was the Marshall Plan. The Marshall Plan was when Truman and Marshall gave money to European countries to help their economic positions. However, the Soviet Union's territories rejected assistance. Although divisions caused fear and hatred, it still led to technological and military advancement, such as the hydrogen bomb. Still, this fear of communism lasted for decades. Divisions influenced global politics in that it created more war. One example is the Vietnam War. The Vietnam War was the attempt to prevent the spread of communism in Vietnam. The massacre at My Lai disillusioned the American public and other nations of America's good intentions. It led to a loss of confidence and trust in America. After the Cold War ended, America was no longer the morally upright country it appeared to be.